These are the best albums of 2023, in my humble opinion. Oh, hi. I know I haven't made a video since early September, but I'm doing one now. And if you didn't catch my community tab update, I left a post there, and I kind of just let you all know that I started a new job in October, and it has really hampered me from putting out regular videos, regular content. So it's been really stressful with the training and everything. Plus I did decide to keep my other job as well, kind of on the side. So the future of my channel is that I will put out videos whenever time allows. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back, and I apologize for the lack of content. If you are new, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you will find something that you like here. I will try to put out some more videos soon, but it's just been tough. So real quick before we get into my top albums of the year, these are like the cream of the crop when it comes to albums released in 2023 that I decided to buy on physical media. I have talked about a few of these albums in prior videos, so for those ones, I'm probably just gonna run through them really quick, do a quick mention, maybe list a few of the songs I like, and then move on, because I do have, I think, 17 albums to get through. So after this countdown, I'm actually gonna quickly talk about some of my favorite reissues of the year. I have a whole stack here, plus there was 2 disappointments, in my opinion. Bad reissues, I wish I never bought them, but I will talk about those towards the end. So on to my top 17 albums of 2023. I could have made this around 20, but there's like 3 or 4 albums I have that I haven't quite spent enough time with, so I didn't really feel it was fair to throw them into this ranking if I haven't had time to absorb them thoroughly. So yeah, I decided to leave those out. Number 17, we have Eyelids with A Colossal Waste of Life. This album right here, I got the purple vinyl version. Actually, my friend the Vinyl Darling, they sent me this copy months and months ago, and I love this. I have already talked about this album in a previous video. I was familiar with Eyelids before, so I put this one last in the countdown, not because I dislike it, but to be honest, I haven't been gravitating much towards like strictly power pop this year. It is a stellar album. It's just kind of where it fell in this ranking. So Peter Buck actually produced this. Peter Buck of REM. Need I say more, right? So just great musicianship on here, and I recommend that album. On to number 16, we have Slow Salvation with Here We Lie. This is kind of a recent discovery for me. This is a duo from New Jersey, and this one is just on black vinyl, and I bought it from their Bandcamp page. It's on Velvet Blue Music. So I believe this is their debut. This is just gorgeous dream pop with some slowcore. It's subdued, light, and gorgeous. I love the female vocals with the reverb. Decay, The Stars Are Blind, North Park Dive, and When You Close Your Eyes. Those are probably my favorite songs. So I don't know, the female vocals are just heavenly, and I'm really impressed with this. There's definitely some Mazzy Star and Slow Dive influences. So, you know, if you like those type of vibes, check out Slow Salvation, Here We Lie. And I like the cover art of that too. By the way, I will leave links to these bands. Like if they have a Bandcamp page, I will leave the link down below in my description box if you desire to check them out, you know, if something sparks your interest. So feel free to do that. Number 15 is Slow Dive, Everything Is Alive. Look, I like this album. I can't say that I'm in love with it like I was with their 2017 self-titled. And I know many people are in love with this. It is very good, but I think I was just expecting a little bit more. It didn't completely knock my socks off like that 2017 album did. And I think, yeah, I did talk about this one, I think in my last video back in September, so I'm just gonna keep this short. I love that they're still putting out albums for us. Like, that is amazing. I guess I have certain opinions of Slow Dive. Like, I tend to appreciate their early EPs and their first few albums a little more than their more recent work, but still I love the band. I really love the electronic elements on this record too. My favorite track still remains Chained to a Cloud on the second side. So yeah, that's my number 15 pick, Slow Dive, Everything is Alive. And I got the black vinyl version. Next is one that I've also talked about on my channel. It was probably around summertime, but my number 14 pick is Ist Ist with Protagonists. And this is a post-punk band from Manchester. Again, one I have spoken about in an earlier video. This is really solid, modern post-punk. It's kind of like Ian Curtis was resurrected. Like, I swear the vocalist sounds just like Ian Curtis, but this is their third full-length album. I really want to get their first two. I know their first two albums were really hard to get when I was looking into it earlier this year. I think I should look again to see if they're maybe more accessible now, but yeah, I really want those first two. So yeah, this is not incredibly original when it comes to the sound, but I still highly recommend this, and it really does get better with each listen too. Some really good tracks on here, like Nothing More, Nothing Less, Mary in the Black and White Room, Fool's Paradise. This is excellent. And it's also on black vinyl. I always choose black vinyl if I have the option. It's just my preference. Okay, so number 13 is Drop 19s with Hard Light. This is their first album in 30 years. In fact, I wanted to grab my CD real quick. Boom, this. So Delaware, yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this album from 1992 on Carolyn Records. So yeah, they reunited for this album. It's called Hard Light. What a treat. So, and I know Delaware seems to be a bit of a divisive album in the shoegaze community. I'm of the camp that really enjoys Delaware, and this is a fantastic comeback album. The song Rose with Smoke, like if you want a perfect example of shoegaze, instrumental shoegaze, just check out that song. That totally like exemplifies shoegaze to me. There's a lot of playful moments on this record. It's also more mature than Delaware, which, you know, is to be expected. But yeah, if you were already a Drop 19s fan and you didn't know they did this, like, you will most likely appreciate this. There's even like a little bit of jangle. There's alternative pop, obviously shoegaze, so yeah, give it a listen. I really, really enjoy it, and I think mine is on clear vinyl. Yeah. Kind of like a smoky clear. So next I have another comeback of sorts. So this is Emma Anderson with her album Pearlies. We finally get a solo album out of her. And if you didn't know, Emma Anderson was in the highly loved shoegaze band Lush from the 90s. I just love Lush so much, so I had to check this out. So yeah, she finally gave us a solo album. So this is her debut. It was worth the wait, in my opinion. And what's cool about this is that the guitarist from Suede, Richard Oakes, he plays on several of the songs, and it's produced by James Chapman of Maps. So yeah, I decided to spring for the CD on this one because the vinyl, it was more expensive. I think when I looked it up, it was like $35. So yeah, this is such a magical electronic pop album. Vocally, she sounds like she did in the 90s. This record is very sophisticated, elegant, engaging. I love Bend the Round and the Presence. Taste the Air is also really good. So yeah, definitely check this one out from Emma Anderson, Pearlies. And that was my number 12. I hope I'm getting the order correct on these, you guys. Okay, number 11 is Mad Honey, and this is another CD I picked up. And this is their debut. This is a band from Oklahoma City, and honestly, I was surprised by this. There's really not much filler on this record, in my opinion. So this is like alternative with shoegaze. There are some heavier guitars at times, but I guess what sealed the deal for me are the vocals. I love Tiff Sutcliffe's vocals. I think that's her name. But you know how certain vocalists just kind of pull you in? It's the vocals for me with this. So check out the songs Heavier Still, Fold, Larkspur, Psycho, and Concentration. Those are standout tracks for me. I'm really excited to hear what they'll do next. So yeah, Mad Honey, Satellite Aphrodite. Actually, I saved the hype sticker. It says, a dream pop shoegaze debut album for fans of My Bloody Valentine, Lush, and Mazzy Star. You're actually going to hear a lot of those comparisons in this video. I mean, that's kind of what I've been gravitating towards in 2023, like a lot of shoegaze and dream pop with those kind of influences. So for my number 10, we have another solo album, and this is Bethany Cosentino with Natural Disaster. So Bethany is best known for being in the band Best Coast, and I love Best Coast so much. They're one of my favorite modern bands. So yeah, she decided to go solo for this one. I think Best Coast are on hiatus. I don't think they're done for good. At least I hope they're not done for good. She has one of my favorite female voices, okay? And this kind of reminds me of like when Nina Gordon of Veruca Salt left the band in the late 90s to pursue a solo career then. And that solo album of hers was definitely more pop and mainstream, but very enjoyable. You know, sometimes I'm a sucker for some well-executed pop. What can I say? And there's even some touches of country on this. You've got some ballads, there's some more upbeat songs. It's just a really well-balanced album with a lot of hooks. So definitely check this one out. Really like the songs It's Fine, Calling on Angels, Real Life, and For a Moment. Those are probably the standouts for me. And that's on black vinyl. Okay, number 9, we have Flying Colors, and this is their album titled You Never Know, and I'm pretty sure I also mentioned this in a video, but this is just outstanding melodic dream pop, shoegaze. I think Jess at Love Spit Love on Instagram, and then also Dean at Grandma's Handbag here on YouTube, they sent me some of their earlier releases on CD, and I've pretty much been hooked ever since. I've been following them ever since. So I especially love their early EPs, but love this particular brand of shoegaze they give us. It's more of that like My Bloody Valentine influence coming through with the guitars. And they also have some synths thrown in, which actually works pretty well. I always love like male, female vocals in the band too. Like the vocals are excellent. Mine is on this Baby Blue vinyl. I really like the songs Long Distance, Do You Feel the Same, Oh. So yeah, this is a great, great album. I know I have a lot of shoegaze on my list, so if you're not a fan of shoegaze, you're probably a little bit bored right now. Number 8, we have Hotline TNT with Cartwheel. And I think I found out about several of these albums through both a Reddit board as well as there's like this Facebook shoegaze group. So yeah, I think I asked for recommendations because I was like kind of behind when it came to newer releases, and just I got so many great recommendations and suggestions for new albums. So a lot of these I picked up were due to those mentions. So yeah, this is one of them. So this is the band's second album. Admittedly, I haven't heard their first one yet. It's basically the project of a dude named Will Anderson, who is like the sole permanent member of the band. So it's like his baby. And this is on Third Man Records actually, and I love the music on this. I'd say as far as the music and those heavy distorted guitars, like the shoegaze drenched guitars, they are miles ahead of many other new shoegaze bands, in my opinion. What I don't care for about this are the vocals and I guess the lyrics on some of the songs. It just seems kind of amateurish, and I get like a 2000s emo vibe, which I'm not particularly excited about. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or how I'm describing, but yeah. I do get a little bit of that sound coming through, but I just overlook it because the music is so good. And this is, I didn't know that I was going to get vinyl that looked like this, but I did buy it from Homer's, my local record store, and they had this in stock. So yeah, it's on, they call it Conch Street Splatter Vinyl. So it looks pretty damn cool. Anyway, back to the record. Yeah, just the guitars, the music, it's just really fantastic. They kind of blend power pop in their shoegaze. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I have spent quite a bit of time with this one, and I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, we'll see what they do next. Number 7, I put Guided by Voices, Welsh Pool Frillies. Once again, thank you to the Vinyl Darling on Instagram for sending this my way many months ago. And I don't remember if I featured this in a video or not. I actually don't think I did. I think I featured it on Instagram. But when it comes to Guided by Voices, I know I've gushed about them in other videos because I really kind of became obsessed with them this year. That being said, it's a band you can't really keep up with. Like, they release several albums a year. I said several, I'm not kidding. This one apparently is a standout when it comes to their newer batch of releases. And I love this upon first listen. Like, it's instantly catchy. You get a good mix of like old school lo-fi Guided by Voices with maybe some more refined power pop ditties thrown in there too. Romeo Surgeon, like, I love that song. Check that one out. Like, absolutely love the guitar riff on that. You can't go wrong with any of these tracks really. Cruiser's Cross, Animal Concentrate, Don't Blow Your Dream Job, Rust Belt Boogie, Seedling. I like them all. I mean, it's just really good. It's a fun listen. There's many highlights here. So yeah, if you haven't listened, this actually would be a pretty good place to start with Guided by Voices. I mean, and that's saying a lot because they have so many albums. All right, number 6, we have Beach Fossils with Bunny. And thank you to Paul at Baraka P-Dub for sending this my way earlier this year. And actually, this was my introduction to the band. I feel hopeful when I listen to this record. The lyrics might not all be hopeful or optimistic, but there's like a light, carefree tone to the music. It's kind of like a comfort listen to me whenever I spin this. So I still need to check out their earlier albums, but I've been kind of like entranced with this one. There's just a vibe with this record. What can I say? It's the perfect summer record too. Those jangly guitars. I think I hear 12-string in there too. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but my ears love this. Big Birds fan here too, by the way. I hear the birds like with the guitars. But yeah, if you like gentle, jangly indie rock, this release is probably going to be for you. Really love the songs Sleeping on My Own, Dare Me, and Seconds. But yeah, this whole thing is great. This is on Bayonet Records, and this is on a really pretty colored aqua bluish vinyl. Can't wait to check more of their records out. Are you still here? Because we're getting into the top 5 now. Top 5. So number 5 is Nation of Language with Strange Disciple. For this one, the next one, we're going into synth pop territory. So Nation of Language, I wasn't really expecting to like this album as much as I do. This is some choice primo synth pop. Yes, it's like heavily taking from the bigger synth pop acts of the 80s. That's probably why I love this record so much. There's even some shoegaze touches too. The songs will stay in your head. It's minimalist, it's infectious. I don't know. It seems like this band gets better and better too. I have heard their first 2 albums, and yeah, they're great, but this one is the one where I just really started to pay attention. So yeah, Nation of Language, purely synth. It's great though. Yeah, mine is just on black vinyl. One of my favorite songs of the year, hands down, is Soul Obsession, which is the second track. I don't know. I can't get enough of that song really, but the whole album is great. I also really enjoyed Too Much Enough and Sightseer, but Nation of Language, really excellent. Okay, number 4, another synth pop release, but from some masters, and this is Depeche Mode's Memento Mori. Sorry, I gotta adjust something here. Okay, yeah, my number 4, Depeche Mode's Memento Mori, and I talked about this one earlier in the year, so I'm just gonna keep this short. I enjoy this album so much more than the previous album, Spirit, I think from 2019. If we're gonna start from Playing the Angel to this album, I still have to say that Sounds of the Universe is my favorite out of that whole batch. You're gonna wanna give this album more than just one listen. It's definitely one that grew on me over time, but excellent return to form album. Fletch, he sadly passed away last year, so he's very much missed. And so, you know, they have themes of death and loss. I don't know, this album is just so damn good. Yeah, and they have like a little tribute saying Andrew John Fletcher, 61 to 2022, in our hearts and minds, from David Martin. So let me try to hold this up so you can see. I think the whole packaging on this is absolutely incredible. It really is. So yeah, this would be my number 4 album. Songs I really, really enjoy from this would be Ghosts Again, my favorite Stranger, Soul With Me, and Always You. Yeah, I think those would be my top picks. I mean, if you love them, you already know that this is superb. And I think newcomers to the band actually will enjoy this too. So thank you, Depeche Mode. Thank you for the music. Okay, now I'm gonna be cheating with this one, but I don't give a damn because this is my this is my list, right? So I'm totally cheating with this one, and because it's an EP, okay? And this is a recent discovery for me, but I have to mention it. Deary, okay? This is their EP. It's a 6-track EP, and I have it on it's clear vinyl. So nothing too incredibly mind-blowing, but I will show the inner sleeve. There's Rebecca Dottie Cockrum, that's the singer's name. And then, yeah, it's basically a duo, Ben Easton and Rebecca Cockrum. So what's cool about this is that, let me make sure I get that right. Yeah, mastered by Simon Scott from Slow Dive, right? But this one's on Sonic Cathedral Records. Was hers as well? Yeah. Emma's is also on Sonic Cathedral. What a killer label for shoegaze stuff. But anyway, I'm cheating with this one. I realize it's an EP, but I love this as much as an album. Screw the rules. There are no rules. I don't care. I've just been listening to this nonstop. So here in the States, this EP is really hard to get. If you're in the UK, it should be a little bit more accessible for you. I bought mine off of eBay and it was still pretty expensive for an EP, but I hope you can find a copy for cheaper. It's not like they sold out on their Bandcamp page, so you're gonna have to find other means of finding it most likely. But yeah, anyway, I wrote on my Instagram page that, you know, if you like Mazzy Star, if you like Cocteau Twins, this is definitely gonna be up your alley for sure. I'm in awe every time I listen to this. It just has undeniable beauty. There's an acoustic track on here called Want You. It really sounds like Mazzy Star. It's so good, okay? And I guarantee you're gonna be mesmerized by this release. This was, it took me by surprise. Like, I keep listening to this over and over again. So to borrow from one of their lyrics, this is just too perfect to believe, for real. Truly gorgeous. Oop, download card fell out there. Okay, top two. Number 2. We have Drag, D-R-A-A-G, just so you know, with their album called Dark Fire Heresy. This album kind of seems like it would be maybe like metal or something, just from the title, but this is one I discovered from a Reddit thread, and then I went to their Bandcamp page, and again, I'll leave the link down below. I think I sampled this one 3 times. I streamed it and I was like, okay, I'm sold, I'm buying this. So the interesting thing about this band, one of the songwriters was in a religious cult for most of her life. And then during the pandemic, she was receiving therapy for that. And the album kind of documents her experience. That's like what I was reading anyway. So it kicks off with such a wonderful tune. The opening track, I hate when they don't have the song titles. It's so ridiculous. That's one of my pet peeves, when the song titles like aren't on the back of the album. But anyway, the opening track, Learning to Live With It. Yeah, that song, like the end of that song, there's like these soaring shoegazy guitars at the end. It's perfection. It's like so My Bloody Valentine-ish. There's even some Stereolab influences, I would say. on this album. And they also have like a little bit of electronic flavor, I would say. So it's a little bit unique, but you can definitely hear the influences too. I love them. Like I said, I streamed it 3 times and I had to buy it. I don't think you can get it on Amazon. I think you have to go to their Bandcamp. But anyway, the songs kind of stay with you. I always want to hear this album. And to me, that's an indication of a truly fantastic album. Like, do I want to return to it over and over again? This one checks all the boxes for me. So if you like shoegaze, check out Drag, D-R-A-A-G, with Dark Fire Heresy. Number 1. Okay, so you probably can guess, like if you're a follower of my channel, I totally went nuts for this album a few videos back, so I bet you can guess what my number 1 album is, but it's Bully. Lucky for you, my number 1 album of the year. So I don't know, there's just something about this album. Again, I've already talked about it on my channel, but it has gotten the most spins out of any of the new releases here, which is part of the reason why I put it for my number 1. What's funny is that I was not a huge Bully fan before this. In fact, I would never have thought that a Bully album would end up being my top 1 of the year. Absolutely not, no way. Like, I just wasn't super into them before, but I saw them open for Best Coast back in 2015 or 2016, very early on in their career. I dug that. She had like that Courtney Love vocal styling vibe. Yeah, I was never convinced enough before to actually buy their albums. Like, their sound, I could take it or leave it. Paul at Baraka P-Dub sent me this album earlier this year, and I wasn't really expecting to connect with it the way I did. With this band, there's always been a big nod to like 90s alternative, maybe a little bit of grunge, but for me, this one is just elevated to a new level. It feels like Alicia Bagnano, that's her name. She's kind of like coming into her own more, and she's like more comfortable. I don't know, this album just grabbed me. There seems to be more hooks. There are complaints about the production on this record. That's not really what I was focused on. To me, it's a very cohesive, emotional, introspective record. If you like the 90s alternative rock scene and you haven't heard Bully, you gotta check them out. So yeah, this is the Loser Edition vinyl, and it's on this beautiful clearish aqua color. Yeah, that's beautiful. A very well-loved record in my collection now. I haven't even heard the new Blur album yet. That's on my list to check out. I really enjoyed the latest Smashing Pumpkins album. It's pronounced Autumn, but it's spelled A-T-U-M. It's like the sequel to Melancholy and Machina. I really, really do like that album. Part of it was released last year, and then the rest of it was released this year. I just don't have a physical copy yet. I will also show some pictures of some honorable mentions as far as other albums I enjoyed from this year. I'll go ahead and do that right here. So anyway, that's my countdown. Let me know what your favorite albums of the year were. Again, mine is not that extensive, but I had fun with it and I wanted to share with you what I've been enjoying. Now, I want to focus on kind of talking about what reissues I enjoyed from the year, either on CD or vinyl. And I'm just going to cover what I remember being released. So again, if I forget some things, hey, this video isn't well planned. So some of these came up in the past few months, so they're still kind of like fresh in my mind. Actually, I want to start with the most disappointing. These 2 reissues really disappointed me, and the first one is Curve's Doppelganger. So this is one of my favorite albums, probably of all time. It's a shoegaze album released in 1992 originally. So this is the music on vinyl version. It's on orange vinyl. I'm not going to take it out, but I have a 2017 reissue of this album, and it sounds so much better than this reissue, you guys. This reissue is nothing special. It sounds pretty flat. So I was very disappointed. I will be getting rid of this or trading it in. So yeah, I would pass on this Curve reissue because it doesn't sound great, to my ears anyway. The other disappointment, and a huge disappointment, and I'm sure you have heard people talk about this, and this was my most anticipated reissue or reissues of the year, and man, these suck. So this is Jellyfish Spilt Milk. Now, this was put out by, I always get it wrong. Is it United or Universal? I don't know. But I've had other reissues by them that were pretty poor and pretty low quality as well. So the hype sticker on this, it said listener edition, and actually for Belly Button I didn't even unseal this one because I was so disappointed with Spilt Milk, but it says listener edition, cut from the original analog master tapes, pressed on 180 gram vinyl. I don't know what listener edition means. It was supposed to be like, it says cut from the analog master tapes. Anyway, I played this, I put it on the turntable. I was just so excited to get these on vinyl, to be honest, because these are some of my favorite albums of all time. And I missed out on the Omnivore reissues back in 2012 because I didn't collect or buy vinyl then. But anyway, I will keep enjoying my deluxe CD of Jellyfish Spilt Milk. I also have the regular version, and I have Belly Button, but these sound better. These sound better than the vinyl reissues. So I don't know what they did. They weren't mastered right. I think Mazzy did a whole video on this. I caught it, and it was kind of a rant video of like, what the hell, how did they screw this up, you know? But it sounds very flat. There's no dynamics. It's very lackluster. Like, this album initially was produced very well. So why can't we hear any of the dynamics? Like, where's the oomph, you know? Anyway, most disappointing reissues of the year. Apparently this one might sound a little bit better, but I'm still not gonna, I'm not even gonna bother you guys. I'm just, that was very disappointing. Anyway, other reissues we got, and it's funny because I just did a video, this was a couple of videos ago, if you go back, of albums we need reissued to vinyl, and this is one of them I mentioned, and then I found out, like, as when I was editing that video, that this was in fact just reissued. So this is a 2 LP reissue of Bowery Electric's first album, fantastic droney shoegaze album. So that one actually sounds pretty good. Another standout reissue we got was The Exploding Hearts with Guitar Romantic, and this band has a very tragic story. Look them up. Punk band from the early 2000s, and this was put out on Third Man Records. I'm very, very pleased with the quality of this whole thing. So I recommend that. I got the black vinyl version. And then I was just, speaking of Universal Music Company, anyway, this one I was impressed with, okay? If you were lucky enough to get this reissue of the Sundays Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic, and I got mine from the Sound of Vinyl, I was lucky to get it. I didn't think it was going to be a super limited run, but this is actually on gray vinyl too. It sounds really great. I don't know who mastered this. Mastered by Stephen Marcuson at Precision Lacquer in Los Angeles, California. So, you know, something Universal actually did a decent job on was this one. And this was, I think I got my copy in September. I got it before the Jellyfish ones. Another shoegaze reissue we got was Pale Saints with In Ribbons, and this is the 30th anniversary edition. Their second album originally released in March 1992, so I got the black vinyl version. There's also a deluxe version of this. I just got the single vinyl version, but yeah, I'm happy with this one as well. This is one of my favorite, probably in my top 5 shoegaze albums ever. And another shoegaze reissue, Lush with, and I picked up Split, but they reissued Split, Spooky, and Love Life. So I just picked this one up because I do have an original of Spooky already, and I thought this was well done. So this and the Pale Saints one are on 4AD. So yeah, don't miss out on those reissues. Oh, and then lastly, I wanted to feature a CD box set I picked up, another shoegaze offering. Ooh, a sticker just fell. This was released on Field Trip Records. So this is the Ariel CD box set of their early EPs. So you get 4 CDs in here, and this is just glorious. I'm so glad I finally have Ariel in my collection. You get a booklet here. This is very well done. So yeah, prior to this, Ariel stuff goes for a lot of money. There was like limited runs of their music, so I'm happy to have this. Plus you get demos with this as well, so you can't go wrong. The Ariel CD box set. Okay, that's all I wanted to feature. This video is probably gonna be a long one because I haven't been here in a while, but other business I want to take care of on my channel, I want to do an updated room tour this year because I kind of shifted some things around and I have some other additions I'd like to show you guys. So that'll be kind of fun to do when I get a chance, as well as a Grails video. That Grails video is overflowing. I have acquired so many amazing pieces for my collection. Like, it blows my mind. I can't even believe how many things I've added that I just truly love. Like, my collection is right where I want it to be right now. I just did a purge, and like with these new pieces in the last 4 to 6 months, I'm so proud of my collection, and I just kind of want to show off some of the pieces that I added that are collector's items. They're hard to get, they're worth some money. I'm just very proud of them. So stay tuned for that video as well. I kind of want to do that video next because a lot of them I bought in 2023. So, you know, the time is ticking for doing these 2023 focused videos, like best of compilation type videos. So hopefully that'll be next, but that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much for your patience. I apologize I have been missing for so very long, but you know how it is. You get a new job, it's stressful, you're training, you're working another job as well. There's just no time. So thank you so much for being here. Keep spinning those records, and I will hear from you in the comments down below. Bye.